If your knees feel weak when you stand up from a chair, if your legs feel shaky on the stairs, if you've started holding onto walls and railings just to feel safe walking through your own house, I need you to stop scrolling right now and listen to me for the next few minutes. Because what I'm about to show you today are 5 simple exercises that real research shows can bring back leg strength you thought you lost forever. No squats, no gym, no equipment, just a chair and a little bit of your time. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to do, starting today, to start feeling steady on your feet again. Hi, friend. Before we go any further, I want you to know something. I'm not here to sell you a miracle. I'm not here to tell you that in 3 weeks your legs will be 80% stronger, because nobody can honestly promise you that. And I respect you too much to lie to you. What I can promise you is this. The exercises in this video are based on real studies done with real older adults, people just like you in their 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s. And those studies show something beautiful. Your muscles never stop listening to you. Even at 70, even at 80, your body still knows how to get stronger if you give it the right signal. So stay with me, because what I'm going to share next could be the thing that gets you back on your feet with confidence. Let's talk for a second about why your legs feel the way they do right now. After the age of about 30, every single one of us starts slowly losing muscle. It's a normal part of aging, doctors call it sarcopenia, but don't worry about that big word. Just remember this simple picture. Imagine your leg muscles are like a campfire. When you're young, that fire is roaring. You don't even have to add wood. It just burns bright on its own. But as the years go by, if nobody adds fresh wood to that fire, it slowly gets smaller and smaller. That's what happens to your muscles when they don't get used in the right way. The good news, and please really hear this part, is that adding wood to that fire is never too late. Even if your fire feels like it's down to just a few small embers right now, the right kind of exercise is like adding dry wood directly onto those embers. It can bring the flame back up. This is not me guessing. This is what real scientists at places like the National Institute on Aging have found when they study older adults who start strength training later in life. Now here's something that made me smile when I was researching this video. There's a researcher named Dr. Roger Fielding who has spent years studying exactly this question: what happens when older adults start training their legs again? And his work, along with many other studies, has shown the same hopeful pattern over and over. Strength training works at any age. It's never too late to start. Your body is always listening. So if you've ever thought to yourself, I'm too old for this now, I want you to gently let that thought go right now. It's simply not true. Let's talk about what actually happens inside your body in the first few weeks of doing exercises like the ones I'm about to show you. This part is important, so stick with me. In the very first 1 to 2 weeks, something interesting happens. Your muscles don't get bigger yet. What changes first is your nervous system. Your brain starts getting better at talking to your muscles. Think of it like a phone line that's been quiet for a long time, full of static, hard to hear. The first few times you do these exercises, you're basically cleaning up that phone line. Your brain and your leg muscles start communicating more clearly again. This is why many people notice they feel a little steadier on their feet within the first couple of weeks, even before their muscles have visibly changed. It's not your imagination. It's a real documented effect. Then, somewhere around the 3 to 4 week mark, if you've been doing these exercises consistently, something else starts happening. Your muscles themselves begin to respond. Tiny microscopic repairs happen inside the muscle fibers every time you challenge them gently, and your body builds them back slightly stronger each time. This is called muscle remodeling, and it's a completely normal, healthy process. Research published by exercise scientists who study older adults has found that with consistent training 2 to 3 times a week, meaningful strength improvements are common within 4 to 6 weeks. Some studies on older adults using gentle resistance exercises have even shown noticeable strength gains in as little as 8 to 12 weeks of consistent effort. I'm telling you the real timeline, not a fairy tale timeline, because I want you to actually trust this process and stick with it. And by around 6 to 8 weeks of doing this consistently, many people start noticing real changes in daily life. Getting up from the couch feels easier. Walking up the stairs doesn't leave you as out of breath. You don't have to grab the railing quite as hard. These are the real signs that your leg strength is coming back. Not some made-up number on a screen, but real, lived, felt improvement in your everyday life. That is what we are working toward together today. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you next are the actual 5 exercises. I picked these very carefully. Every single one of them avoids the traditional squat, because traditional squats can be hard on sensitive knees, hard on the lower back, and honestly a little scary if your balance isn't what it used to be. Every exercise I'm giving you today uses a sturdy chair for support so you feel safe the entire time. Let's get into it. The first exercise is called the sit to stand. I want you to picture your favorite sturdy chair at home, the kind that doesn't wobble, the kind with a firm seat. Sit down near the edge of it with your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Lean your chest forward just slightly, like you're about to give someone a little bow. Then, using your legs, not your arms, push yourself up to standing. If you need to use your hands on the armrests at first, that is completely fine. There is no shame in that at all. We all start somewhere. Once you're standing tall, pause for a second, then slowly lower yourself back down with control, like you're sitting down in slow motion, and just barely tap the chair before standing right back up again. This single movement is one of the most powerful things you can do for your legs, because it's exactly the motion you use every single day to get up from the couch, the toilet, the car seat. Researchers who study senior fitness call this one of the most functional exercises there is, because it directly trains the movement your body actually needs in real life. Start with 8 repetitions. If that feels manageable, you can build up to 12 over the coming weeks. 2 to 3 sets with a short rest in between. Now here's a retention tip for you. Something most videos won't tell you. The secret is not speed. The secret is control. Going down slowly is actually more important than standing up quickly. That slow lowering part is called an eccentric contraction, and research shows it's incredibly effective for building strength safely in older muscles. So don't rush this one. Slow and steady truly does win here. The second exercise targets a part of your legs that almost every bone forgets about, your calves. I want you to imagine your calves as the shock absorbers in a car. When they're strong, every step feels smooth and stable. When they're weak, every uneven sidewalk, every little bump in the pavement becomes a small danger. So here's what we do. Stand behind your sturdy chair, holding onto the back of it with both hands for balance. Keep your feet about hip width apart. Slowly rise up onto your toes, lifting your heels as high off the ground as comfortably possible. Hold that top position for 1 or 2 seconds. Really feel your calves working, then slowly lower your heels back down. This is called a calf raise, and physical therapists recommend it again and again for older adults because weak calves are directly linked to poor balance and a higher risk of trips and falls. Aim for 10 to 15 repetitions, 2 sets, resting in between. If you want an extra challenge later on, you can try lifting one heel at a time once you feel more confident. Imagine 3 months from now, you're walking on a sidewalk and your foot catches a small crack in the pavement. Instead of falling, your ankle and calf catch you, your body adjusts in that split second, and you keep walking like nothing happened. That is not a fantasy. That is exactly what calf strength training is designed to help your body do. This is one of the real true gifts of this exercise, and it's worth doing consistently for that reason alone. The third exercise is the seated leg extension. And this one is wonderful for anyone who feels nervous about standing exercises, because you do this one fully seated, completely supported, completely safe. Sit tall in your chair, back straight, feet flat on the floor. Hold on to the sides of the seat gently for stability. Now slowly extend one leg straight out in front of you until your leg is as straight as comfortably possible, ideally parallel to the floor. Hold that position for 1 to 2 seconds, feeling the front of your thigh, your quadriceps working hard, then lower it back down slowly, switch to the other leg. This exercise directly strengthens your quadriceps, which are the muscles you rely on every single time you stand up, climb a step, or get out of a car. Physical therapists often use this exact exercise with patients recovering from knee issues, because it builds real strength without putting pressure on the knee joint itself. Aim for 10 to 12 repetitions per leg, 2 to 3 sets. Here's something I want you to really sit with for a moment. So many seniors I talk to tell me the same fear. They're afraid of falling, not afraid of pain, not afraid of embarrassment, afraid of losing their independence, afraid of becoming a burden on their children. I understand that fear deeply, and I want you to know this exercise, as simple as it looks, is one of the real tools that can help protect your independence. Strong quadriceps are directly linked in research to a lower risk of falls and better ability to live independently as we age. This isn't dramatic, it's just true, and it's exactly why I wanted to include it today. The fourth exercise works your hips and your core stability at the same time, and it's called the seated march. Sit tall in your chair, feet flat on the floor, hands resting gently on your thighs or holding the sides of the seat. Lift one knee up toward your chest, as high as comfortably possible, then lower it back down with control. Then lift the other knee, keep alternating like you're marching while sitting down. This works your hip flexors, the muscles that lift your leg every time you walk, climb stairs, or step over something on the ground. Weak hip flexors are one of the hidden reasons many seniors start shuffling their feet instead of taking confident full steps. Strengthening them can genuinely help restore a more normal, confident walking pattern. Aim for 10 repetitions per leg, building up to 15 over the next few weeks. Let me tell you something many people don't realize. The way we walk changes slowly with age, often without us even noticing day to day. Steps get shorter, feet lift less, and over months and years this can quietly turn into a shuffling walk that increases the risk of tripping. The beautiful thing is, this pattern is not permanent. By rebuilding the strength in your hip flexors with simple movements like this seated march, you are directly working against that shuffle, one small movement at a time. This is exactly the kind of quiet, consistent action that adds up to something big over time. The fifth and final exercise works the outer hip and thigh muscles, the ones responsible for keeping you steady from side to side, which is incredibly important for balance. This one is called the standing side leg raise. Stand behind your sturdy chair, holding the back of it with both hands. Keep your standing legs slightly bent, if that feels more comfortable, and your toes pointing forward the entire time. Slowly lift one leg out to the side, only as high as feels controlled and comfortable, without leaning your body to the other side to compensate. Hold for a second, then lower it back down with control. Switch sides after you're set. This exercise strengthens what are called your hip abductors, and they are absolutely essential for side-to-side stability, the kind of balance you use every time you step off a curb, walk on grass, or catch yourself if you stumble sideways. Aim for 10 repetitions per leg, 2 sets. I want to be honest with you about something important right now. If, at any point during any of these 5 exercises, you feel sharp pain, not normal muscle tiredness, but actual sharp pain, please stop. Mild muscle fatigue, a little bit of a burn, that's completely normal, and it's actually a sign your muscles are working. But sharp pain is your body's way of waving a red flag, and we always listen to red flags. If you have any existing health conditions, joint replacements, osteoporosis, heart conditions, where you've had a recent fall or injury, please talk to your doctor before starting any new exercise routine. This isn't me trying to scare you, this is me genuinely caring about your safety because I want you doing these exercises for years to come, not getting hurt and giving up after 1 week. I also want to gently mention balance. If you ever feel unsteady doing any of these movements, even the seated ones, that is your cue to keep one hand firmly on the chair the entire time, every single repetition, no exceptions. There is no rule that says you have to let go of the chair to get the benefit of these exercises. Plenty of people build real lasting strength while holding on the whole time, and that is perfectly fine. The goal is never to prove anything to anyone. The goal is simply to get a little bit stronger than you were yesterday, safely, on your own terms. Now let's talk about how to actually put all 5 of these together into a simple, real routine you can follow starting today. You do not need to do a long, exhausting workout. In fact, research on older adults has shown again and again that shorter, consistent sessions done 2 to 3 times a week are just as effective, sometimes even more effective, than longer sessions done less consistently. So here's what I want you to do. Pick 2 or 3 days this week. Days that don't have to be back to back. Leave at least 1 day of rest in between for your muscles to recover and rebuild. On those days, go through all 5 exercises I just showed you, in any order that feels comfortable. The whole routine should take you somewhere between 15 and 25 minutes, including little rests in between sets. That's it. That's genuinely all it takes to start. I know what some of you might be thinking right now. This sounds too simple. Surely something this gentle can't really make a difference. I understand that doubt, truly, because we've all been taught that exercise has to hurt to work, that no pain means no gain. But I want you to unlearn that idea today, especially at this stage of life. The goal here isn't to exhaust yourself. The goal is consistency. Doing these 5 simple movements 2 to 3 times a week, every week for the next month, is going to do more for your legs than one brutal, painful workout that leaves you so sore you can't move for a week and never want to try again. Slow and steady really is the way forward here. Let's talk honestly about a realistic timeline, because I promised you no lies in this video. In the first 1 to 2 weeks, expect to feel a little more aware of your leg muscles, maybe a little soreness after sessions. That's totally normal, and possibly a small sense of feeling steadier already, thanks to that nervous system improvement we talked about earlier. By weeks 3 and 4, if you've stayed consistent, many people start noticing it really is a bit easier to stand up from the couch, a bit easier to climb a few stairs without stopping to catch their breath. By weeks 5 and 6, this is often where people start to feel a genuine, noticeable difference in daily life. Walking feels more confident, balance feels more secure, and that quiet fear of falling starts to ease, just a little, week by week. By around 8 weeks of consistent effort, research on older adults doing structured leg strengthening shows real, measurable improvements in strength and walking ability for the vast majority of people. This is the honest path. Not 80% in 3 weeks, but real lasting strength built the right way that will actually stay with you because you built it slowly and you built it right. I also want to give you a few simple daily habits that will help these exercises work even better for you, because exercise alone is only part of the picture. First, protein. Your muscles need protein to repair and rebuild themselves after exercise, and many older adults don't get quite enough of it. Simple sources like eggs, chicken, fish, beans, yogurt, and milk can make a real difference. You don't need fancy supplements, just consistent, simple food choices at each meal. Second, water. Dehydration can make you feel weaker and more tired than you actually are, so keep a glass of water nearby throughout your day, and especially before and after doing your leg exercises. Third, sleep. This is the one most people overlook completely. Your muscles do a huge amount of their repair work while you're sleeping. If you're only getting 4 or 5 hours a night, your body simply doesn't have enough time to rebuild what you're working on during the day. Aim for 7 to 8 hours if at all possible, and try to keep a consistent bedtime, because that helps your body's natural rhythm support its own healing process. And here's one more thing I want to gently mention, something that doesn't get talked about enough. Movement throughout your day matters just as much as your structured exercise sessions. If you do these 5 exercises 3 times a week, but then sit completely still for the rest of every day, you're working against yourself a little bit. Try to stand up and walk around your home every hour or so if you're sitting for long periods. Take a short walk outside when the weather allows it. These small moments of movement throughout your day work together with your structured exercises to keep that fire we talked about earlier burning steady, instead of just sparking at once and letting it go cold again. I want to take a moment here to speak to anyone watching this who feels discouraged. Anyone who has tried to get stronger before and felt like it just didn't work, or felt too tired or too sore, or simply gave up after a week or two. I want you to know that is such a normal human experience, and it does not mean you failed. It often just means the approach wasn't gentle enough, or sustainable enough, or it didn't have a clear, honest timeline like the one I just gave you. This time, you have a real plan. 5 simple movements, using nothing but a chair, 2 to 3 times a week, 15 to 25 minutes at a time, with an honest understanding of what to expect at 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and 8 weeks. You are not starting from zero today. You are starting with a real, evidence-based map in your hands, and that changes everything. I also want you to remember something important about your body that I think gets forgotten too often as we age. Your body is not falling apart. Your body is simply asking for a different kind of care than it needed 20 years ago. The campfire is still there. The embers are still glowing, even if they feel small right now. All they need is the right kind of attention, given consistently, with patience, and they will grow back stronger than you expect. This is not wishful thinking. This is what research on strength training in older adults shows, study after study, year after year. Age is not the barrier so many of us were taught to believe it is. So here's what I want you to do right now, today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. I want you to find a sturdy chair in your home. Just look at it, take a breath, and decide that today, or tomorrow at the latest, you're going to try these 5 exercises for the first time. Start gently. Listen to your body. Stop if you feel sharp pain, but please give yourself this chance. If this video helped you even a little bit today, please consider giving it a like. It genuinely helps this information reach more people just like you who need to hear it. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe to this channel, because every single week I'm sharing more honest, research-backed videos just like this one to help you stay strong, stay steady, and stay independent for as many years as possible. I would love it if you left a comment below saying, "I will try my first sit to stand today," because writing it down, telling someone, even a stranger on the internet, makes you so much more likely to actually follow through. I read every single comment, and it means the world to me to hear from you. And before you go, please talk to your doctor before starting any new exercise routine, especially if you have any existing health conditions. I care about you, and I want you doing these exercises safely for years to come, not just for one excited week. In my next video, I'm going to show you something just as important as leg strength, the simple daily habit that can help protect your balance and dramatically lower your risk of falling at home, the kind of fall that sends so many seniors to the hospital every single year. You do not want to miss that one, so make sure you're subscribed and you have your notifications turned on. Take care of yourself, take care of those legs, and I will see you in the next video.